Hello, I am Nick Barron from Breaker Press Games, and I want to talk to you today about Desperation of the Hungry. Alright, so because this is the final weekend of the Desperation of the Hungry Kickstarter, I want to talk about what it is and why you should support it. So, first and foremost, Desperation of the Hungry is a DCC compatible encounter for a low-level party. What type of low level? Well, either a 0 level or 1st level. Now, it started out as this pamphlet encounter that I had designed as a Patreon reward for my patrons back in like October, November. And after running it a number of times, I have decided that it needs to be expanded so that it can give additional advice to the judge, as well as be able to flesh out the NPCs more, etc. But one of the most important things that I want to do is actually give more attention to what happens each round, and I'll explain that more in a second. So, first and foremost, Desperation of the Hungry is a low-level encounter meant to set the tone of a grimdark setting such as Stennard. In this instance, the Mutt Wrangler family are one of the shining stars of the town. They are the dog breeders and dog trainer that live in the town, and they live very close to the center of town. And this can be put in Stennard or any town of your choice. It's just meant to set tone. Now, what happens is the PCs start at the center of town at the common fire, and all of a sudden a scream goes out. Help! They are trying to steal my dogs. And so the PCs are put in a position where they need to make a moral choice. Do they wish to allow poachers to come and steal the Mutt Wrangler's dogs, or do they go in and intercede? Now, that is where things get exciting. So, I design content that is horror-tinged, and Desperation of the Hungry is similar to a previous adventure encounter that I had written, Wide-Eyed Terror, in that it is home invasion horror. And so, the poachers are kicking in the door of the Mutt Wrangler house, the doors of the Mutt Wrangler house, and they have an elaborate plan. And that plan is to send a group over to the bridge to stop anybody from coming to intercede from across the bridge, having lookouts by the stream that runs through the center of town, and of course those that are kicking in the front and back door in order to steal the dogs. And this creates a situation where the PCs have to react to multiple things at once, causing the party to split and fragment, allowing you to pick them off one by one, sort of. So, that being said, let's talk about the encounter itself. So it uses the design principle from Index Card RPG that I first learned about through Professor Dungeon Master of timer, threat, and treat. So, the threat is the poachers that are kicking in the doors and have their elaborate plan to stop the PCs. The timer is that there are specific events, instead of rolling a timer dice like an Index Card RPG, there are specific complications that are going to happen on rounds 2, 3, and 4. And then finally, the treat is that if the players and the PCs are able to stop the poachers from stealing all of Olnik's Mutt Wrangler's dogs, he will be so in gratitude that he will gift one of the dogs to the players, which will allow them to replace a PC that if a PC dies. So it gives you that as well. And you make a friend for life in the town of Stennard. So, that being said, let's talk about the Mutt Wrangler family. Now, if you are somebody who is just going to use this in your town and your setting, awesome. You know, it's a great encounter. It can be thrown into any town. But I also am introducing a family I plan to revisit. In fact, the Mutt Wrangler family was originally introduced in the Stennard Courier Volume 1, and they will be revisited again in A Tragedy at Woodwitch Rise. And so I am building an emotional component where the PCs are going to feel connected to the Mutt Wrangler family and feel even more inclined to help them when tragedy befalls them yet again. So that being said, that is Desperation of the Hungry. It plays in an hour and a half to 2 hours. It is as I said, a great tone setter, and it is going to create chaos at the table as the party splits off in every different direction in order to stop all of these threats that are befalling the Mutt Wrangler family. Now, if this is your first time backing one of my Kickstarters, I'd like to let you know that this is my preferred way of communicating updates about what's going on with Breaker Press Games. I've got multiple Kickstarters that are in the process of being fulfilled. So rather than doing individual updates for everything, what I do is I do these monthly Breaker bulletins that give you all the stuff that you need to know about what's going on with Breaker Press. I will link up in the cards the most recent one. But each month I will give a very short bullet point update of what is going on in the Kickstarter update, but I will attach one of these videos that really fleshes things out further, and you can find out everything that's going on with Breaker Press Games, because 2023 is going to be a big and exciting year with all sorts of content planned. So, that being said, thank you for supporting Desperation of the Hungry, thank you for supporting Breaker Press Games, and as always, thank you for supporting indie games and indie game designers. I really appreciate you taking the time. Once again, this is Nick from Breaker Press Games signing off. You have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to you all soon.